Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is my design team project for Nanine over at Collage Type, and the name of the kit that I'll be using is Travel, Maps, and Charts. Now, there are a lot of beautiful pages in this kit, and I'm going to show you the kit first, and then we'll come back and we'll start our project. So the first page you'll notice is this horizontal page. That's the map of the world. It's my favorite page in the kit, and we're definitely going to use it. Then we have a writing page, but it also has images of maps of the world. And you'll notice that the theme, Maps and Charts, runs all the way through the kit. This is a map of the North America. This one's upside down. Sorry about that. Here's one with a compass and a writing area. And all the pages look like you tore them out of the journal. Now, or it's in a worn journal. Now, something I should mention is that I printed this borderless, and so this is a true 8.5 by 11, and I may come back and print it again with the border to make it a little bit smaller to work better with the manila folder project that I'm thinking of doing. Okay, so those are our horizontal pages. Just depends. And these are our vertical pages. Nice collage page. Another nice, beautiful map page. And another collage page. I believe that's Italy. And then you have some ephemera. And I think there's 5 pages of ephemera. Some nice, a nice compass, and I love this globe. I've always wanted one of these kinds of globes that's just the metal, and it turns in all the different directions. I think those are cool. Maybe I'll get a miniature one for my desk. Here's a pocket. Here's some cards. Some more embellishments. And a page of tags. And a page of 2 writing cards. Okay, so that's our kit. Got lots of papers to work with. And like I said, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to make. So I'll decide that, and then cut out the ephemera, and then we'll come back and we'll make our project. Okay, I'll see you in just 1 second. Okay, we're back. Now, this is a legal size manila folder, and we are going to try to work with this. I made a prototype, and we're going to do the measurements a little bit different. But this is basically what we're going to make, which is a travel folder, traveler's folder, or journal, but we're going to call it a folder because it's made out of a folder. So, as you can see, mine's a little crooked. And I believe it's because I folded it before I cut out this pocket, which gives me this little breathing area. So I think it'll be easier to fold it over on the score lines once, you know, fold it straight. Once the, let's see, maybe I can fix it. No, I've already used the bone folder on it. Once the gap is there on either side. So this is a left tab folder. Oh, I also ended up scoring right at the edge of the tab, so I've adjusted the measurements a little bit so we fold over here. This last panel is going to be shorter because of the size of the folder, but that works out perfect for us because it gives us that space so that we can fold this over, and it will still be even with this edge. Okay, if I fold it straight. Now, if this doesn't work, you'll never see this part, and I will have to do something else. If it does work, then ta-da, this is part 2 of video 1. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to get out our scoreboard, because we love our scoreboard so much, instead of using my paper trimmer. So I'm not sure. I might be able to score this on there, because I'm not very good with this. Let me try it here. I've got a spare folder just in case. So let's go to 5 1/4. And we're going to score it here. A little bit of a mishap at the bottom there. If you do it several times and press down really hard, then you shouldn't have to do it on the other side. And then we're going to go to 10 1/4. And I did it at the 1/4 and not the 1/8, just because it's easier. Because an 1/8 would have got us past that tab as well. So we'll see how this looks. That's what the spare is for, in case this doesn't look right. Okay, let's flip it over and take a look. I don't know. I think I'm gonna... Now, when you flip it over, excuse me, when you flip it over, the measurements are not going to be the same because you're scoring in from the opposite side. So what you want to do is either A, flip it over, and that looks like 5 1/2 to me. I did. I scored it at 5 1/2. All right, well, let's go with the flow. And then I scored it at 10 1/4. All right, let's see what happens. Why not? Then if you want, you can open it and score it again to get that front side. Which, of course, I messed up. I did it fine the first time. Yeah, that's not going to work because now my score line is not correct. Let me get out my spare. I'm going to try it on my paper trimmer. It has a scoring tool. Then maybe I can get 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2. What do you think? Let's put that out just to support it. All right, so we want to score it. Well, this isn't going to work, and I'll tell you why. I don't know the exact measurement in from this end. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do, because I want it to be 10 1/4 here. So we'll score that. And then I want it to be at 5 1/4 in from the edge. So if I made a mark, then I would know where to score it, because I don't know where this is going to be to make it 5 1/4, or I could just score it just on the other side. Let's see, 1/4 of an inch past the tab. And score it really well. In fact, I think I may score this one again. Because I want to make sure it goes through and I don't have to flip it over. Okay, that looks good. All right, now to make the pocket, we're going to cut on just on this side, which is the outside edge of the score line. Yeah, that should work. It's not how I did it last time, but yeah. So when you flip it around, it's going to be on the left side of the score line. And we're going to cut it down to here. It would be easier if I could see it. I can't see it. Then on this side, we're going to cut on the right side of the score line. I have to have these lights, and they're making a shadow on my scissors. Plus, I already know that I'm crooked. All right, here we go. I'm going to continue cutting this, even though I'm cutting it a little crooked. We can touch it up because we're going to be cutting most of this out. So with this part gone, then I can always touch up the side of this one. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to measure up. Yeah, see, that's crooked. We're going to cut this little piece off right here. Okay. Then we're going to measure up 3 inches. Okay, I am sorry about that. I got interrupted so many times. Okay, so now that we've got these 3 parts, 1, 2, 3. Come here, you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to make this center part into a pocket. We're going to cut it off. We're going to make it a 3-inch pocket. So we're going to measure up 3 inches, and then we're going to cut it off. And then we're going to take this part right here, and where we had cut on this side of the score line, we're going to cut on the other side, and that will give us a little gap. Okay, so I'm going to lay this in here. I'm going to put the blade in instead of the score tool. Okay, then I'm going to make it at 3 inches. All right, there's 0. And put that at 3. And I can cut it off and it'll be 3 inches tall. I love it. I can't believe I just thought of doing that. Didn't think of doing it before. Now you see when I close it up, it's still all even. And if I were to try to fold this right now, then I would get that problem with there being too much material here. So we're going to flip it over, and where we had cut on the outside of the score line, we're now going to cut on the inside, and then we'll cut that little tiny notch out. This way it stays square instead of doing it at an angle on both sides. Then it's a real bear to cover it with paper. So now we'll cut it just this side of the score line, just so we don't have the score line to deal with on the pocket. And then we'll cut this little chunk out. I think I'm going to have to clean that up a little bit. And this one's going to look a little crooked because I had cut the other side crooked. So I'm not really tapering it. Well, I am, but it's only to make it straight. All right, let me clean this up a little bit. Okay. So now we've got this, and we should, this looks a little crooked. I always end up with one crooked side when I do this. Okay. So now we should be able to fold this over on the score lines, and it should be straight across on the bottom without any problem. So let's line it up at the bottom so that it's straight. And then hold it and fold it on the score line. Okay, then open it back up and then do the same thing on this side. Make sure it's straight. And then hold it. Make sure that it's straight. And then fold it on the score line. And then we're going to use our bone folders, our bone folder on the folder. And then you see this side is short, so that allows this to fold over without any trouble. Now, I can see where our new measurements is going to get us in trouble. Or our new measurements are going to get us in trouble because now the top is bigger than even the back, and we want them to be even. So if we were to trim this, would be fine, and we would still have the tab, but I'm worried about making it crooked. So let's see what happens if there's no other way to fold it, because if this one's bigger, then we can't fold it the other way. So we have to cut it. There's no other choice. It's not going to work otherwise. Must have been why it worked at 5. Get this stuff out of the way. That's a scrap you don't have to save. Now this should work. Yes, now it's even. We still have our tab. If you want, you can round this corner a little bit more. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open it up, and we're going to take our medical tape and we're going to run it along. Trying to figure out the best way to do this. I want it to be, I wonder, we're going to glue this shut. So we run it just around here and around the front, then we'll still have the tape on the inside of the pocket. Because we're still going to have to run the tape all the way across on the front. And we're going to do it at this tab line here. So we don't have to cut out the tab. We're going to leave the tab tan. And then we're going to paper up to that and make it our border. Let's try it on this side here. This is brown medical tape by 3M. And you get it on Amazon, and it's micropore, M-I-C-R-O-P-O-R-E, like the pores in your skin, micropore tape. And it's thin. Don't have any pencil marks where you're going to go, because this will not cover it. So we're going to put this even with here. No, we're not going to put the paper that low, don't panic. And then we're going to put it straight across. And you can reposition it, so if you get it crooked, you can start over. And it'll fold. And then just cut it off even with the edge. I'm going to cut it off the roll and then trim it. Now, let's fold it up. Yep, they line up. It's kind of a miracle. And then we still have our tab on the front. And our paper's going to come up to here. The tab is bigger here because of this tab here, because of the way it runs. I'm almost tempted to take the tape off and run it across here and trim that little corner, because I don't really like that. too far down in the front. And it's okay about that little corner right there because we're going to run another piece along here. Okay, and then wait till you get the other side done, and then trim it, and then you know you get both sides of the tape trimmed evenly. That looks much better. Okay, now we're going to do the edge right along the middle of the ridge, or the fold, and right along the middle of the fold here. Make sure your edge is straight when you start. Actually, we want to do the bottom first. Let's run along the bottom. And we're not going to put half and half, you know, fold it under because we have the pocket and all that. Somehow I went a little bit crooked, but I'll just trim it up because it's just the last inch or so at the end. I'm not really sure how that happens. And we'll trim this off. And we're going to do this all the way around. I'm going to show you part of it, and then I'm going to go off camera and do the rest so that you don't have to watch me do the whole shebang. Okay. A couple of small pieces on my scissors. Have to get them off. Okay, then we're going to do good grief. Then we're going to do up and down, like I said, along these sides. Oh, I didn't trim this. Okay. So now we're going to do this side. But you don't want this in the way. You don't want to, you want to fold it over, but you don't want to tape this shut. So we're going to have to let's see. What's the best way to do this? We're going to have to trim this. Then we're going to go from here to here. We're going to go halfway. In other words, we're going to put half on the front and half on the back. That way it'll be inside, it'll go inside the pocket. What's going to be the pocket. So you see we put half on the front, and then we're going to fold it over. And you're going to have to do this all the way around. And now we have to trim this again. Now we won't have to do this on the other side because we're not going all the way up to the tab. I have little pieces of tape everywhere. I'm being attacked. Clean that up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the center, and we're going to put part on one side, part on the other, and we're going to start at the top of this tape, and then we're going to go to the bottom. The edges on either side are going to be covered by paper. I'm having fun. I haven't done one of these in a while with the tape. I like the way it looks with the manila folder. Okay, so then you're going to do that here, and then like you did here, you're going to do that down here. Only you're only going to go up to this line. All right, now let me show you on this side. You're going to have to do it down the middles on the inside, because we're going to have paper right here. You're going to have to do it across the top right here, just like we did in the front, right even with the top all the way across, just like we did, and you'll have to trim that corner out a third time and a fourth time. Now let's see what we're at for time. We're going to have to do this one, and remember you want to do the horizontal and then the verticals. I believe that's the way we did it first. Yes, the horizontal, then the verticals. Keep it the same all the way through. Okay, so we'll do this in 3 pieces. We'll do the horizontal here. Might be easier to do it this way. The end of my tape is crooked just the least little bit. I don't know why I keep cutting it like this. So basically we're going to do it like we did the front, only we're just going to do the bottom in segments. If I can get it to go on here. Okay, if you want to flip this down out of the way so that you can trim this, that's a good idea. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did on the front. Only to make this easier, we're going to cut it. I wonder if folding it over is going to make any of the thickness difference. Don't think it will. And then we're going to have this pocket, so we need to flip this over as well. Okay, so now you're going to do the center the same way, straight across. Flip it under if you need to. You don't want to use up this space though. Thinking that might be a bad idea. I don't know, there's not very much there. If it looks like you're losing your space in between, then pull this back and cut it off. I think I'll make sure to cut it off in the center. Alright, and then you're going to do this piece here, this piece here, this piece across here. Basically, this is going to be covered with tape. And then this piece across here. And you're going to do the whole thing and then trim out the corner. Make sure on your edge you do it like we did the edge here. Half and half. And then on this edge over here, from the front you're going to do half and half. And on the back you're going to do half and half. And when we come back, I will have that part done. Okay? Alright. Put you on hold. Okay. So I've got this all taped up, and it took me the better part of an hour to do this. So let me show you where I'm at. This is our first page, or our cover actually. We're going to be putting in a brad with a circle and a tie closure. Okay. And then this is the inside of the first part. Now this is going to be a pocket on the side, so it's like this right now, but we're going to glue it shut. And then this side opens like this, same thing. We're going to glue this shut and make a side pocket over here. And then this is going to be a middle pocket here. And a mistake that I made was I did not leave enough clearance. So I did have to go back and trim a little bit more off each side. Okay, and then remember we need to paper this before we glue this pocket down. Alright, so what we're going to do first is, let me think about this. I think we'll glue the sides down, yeah, because our paper's only going to come to here, so it's okay if we glue these down, because the paper's not going that far anyway. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll have our pockets. Now remember, we taped it so that when you look inside the pocket, then you see tape. See right there? And that's why we folded it over on this side. I made a couple other mistakes. When we papered this, we should have opened it like this and ran this all the way down, like we ran this all the way across, and then it would have been consistent, you know. It doesn't matter that this one's a little bit crooked because the paper's going to cover it. The only difference will be it'll be a little bit wider brown on this side than on that side. So that's a mistake that I made. And the cover turned out pretty well. And let's see if there was anything else that I can show you so that you don't do the same thing. I got both corners cut out here. And then this is square on this side. Now you might want to round this corner a little bit more. I don't know if your corner muncher whatever thing will do it, or if you'd have to trim it just a little bit by hand to make it not quite so square right there. And that's up to you. You can take another manila folder tab and lay it on there, the other end of this end of it, and lay it on here and trace it and then cut it out, and it will look just like the other end of this tab. Okay, so like if I took my spare folder here that we tried and I messed up the thing, and we laid this part right here, let's make it even, and traced it, then we could cut that tab out and make it look just like the other end. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that line there because we're not going to do that right this second. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this pocket. Now I'm trying to think if that's what I want to do first. I want to make sure in my mind. Okay, and to make the pocket on the side, then we're going to, I'm sorry, this is so long. To make the pocket on the side, we're going to glue down here and up here. Okay? Waiting for that bubble air coming up is really a stressor for me. I want the glue to be there now. So just go ahead and glue it like you normally would. Maybe a little bit more. The tape will absorb a little bit of it. And we're going to glue this shut. And that's going to make our pocket on the side. If you have any seepage, just get your dry wet wipe and wipe it up real quick. There are some places that I should have wrapped it around instead of just laying it here and then laying it on the other side, because then you kind of see the manila folder a little bit. Alright, so now we've got our side pocket. I guess I should wait for the glue to dry before demonstrating how good I glued it. Let's do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do it, and you guys know what I did, so you may not be able to see the whole thing. Okay, so I need to glue the top, which is the bottom right now because we have it opened up. And then I need to glue the side that opens into the middle. And that makes our two side pockets. Now, if you wanted to do something different, you could have made this to where it flapped down, but you would have had to do more taping, you know, on the underside there that we just folded up. But that would have been interesting and fun. Okay, now we're going to have to paper this before we fold this up. I realize this is running long, but we're just going to do that one thing and then we'll have our construction done. Or maybe we'll do it in the, let's do it in the next video where we do all the papering and everything. Okay? So we're just going to stop here. We've got our basic construction done. It just looks like 3 squares. I realize that, or a square and 2 rectangles, crooked rectangles actually. But the inside was a little more difficult than it looked, so just take your time and try to keep things a little more straight than I did. I didn't realize how crooked it was until I looked at it just now when I started the tape up again. Okay, I know this is a weird jump, but I was rendering the video and I realized it was only 45 minutes long. We've only got 2 videos, so let's go ahead and glue the front and back covers on and put the tie on real quick. Remember, the cover's only going to go to here. It's not going to go all the way up to our tab. I inked it. I'm using Vintage Photo. Get this put on. And then we'll put the back one on so we can get the paper clip off. And then we'll put the brad and stuff on. And then we're not going to put the actual string on yet. We don't want it getting in the way. There's no reason to have it flopping around, you know, because with this type of closure, you just tie it on anyway. So I chose one of the maps pages that had this compass up at the top, and of course this is not decorated at all. I move it around a little bit until it's straight. That's a nice thing about Fabri-Tac. Straight according to the tape anyway. Okay, so see, I like the way that tape looks around the edge. Really do. Okay, so let's glue our back on. This is the next part of the page, so it should look like it's continuing on. I've inked it as well. We're going to get this done so quick I may go ahead and throw in one more little part that I've got ready to go. And then we won't have to do that in the second video because it's papering as well. And so it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to show you me gluing all the papers. I know that's your favorite part, but no. I am going to mention that I'm one of those people that I want the text to be able to be read facing this way. I mean, I feel like that makes it right side up. Not really sure why, but that's just me. I'm checking the front and the back to try to make sure that they're even. It kind of grabs quicker on the tape than it does on regular paper. Because the tape is going to absorb some of it. So that's going to be our back. Now, of course, obviously there's no ephemera or anything. I have printed out the ephemera like I showed you before, but then I ran some of it back through the printer and printed a faux coffee dyed on the back for the cards and stuff, so they'll be covered on the back. Now, there's a pocket right here, so when we put our brad and everything on, it's going to make it much simpler This isn't paper jet anyway, but it still makes it simpler. Let me get my crocodile. Let's see, where's the center? This is a little crooked right here. I'm not happy about that at all. So we'll have to put something on there to cover it up. Let's see if I can get it in here. There we go. And move it up just a little bit. In. If I can get it in further, yeah. Okay, that looks good. Poke the hole. And I've got my circles. I used 2 manila folder circles and 1 printed with the same, with a scrap from when I cut this paper. And then all we have to do is put the brad through. And then we'll put a little bit of tape on it so it doesn't catch when we put items in and out of the pocket. And then we just open the little legs on the brad. See, even that was cutting it close. I should have put it in a little bit further. Definitely. It was just kind of hard to tell with that brown tape. It's alright. I'll live. I'm putting the tape this way to cover the little legs. It's just Scotch tape. Nothing fancy. Yeah, for a minute there I didn't think I had caught the front edge. Oh yeah, we have plenty of time to do this. I've got this part cut out. I didn't have to make this paper go all the way down. We don't want to add any more bulk than we have to. I realized we should have put a gusset over here to make a little more room when we fold. So we can't put anything thick in, really. This has been inked. This has been inked. This is just a scrap. So we'll go ahead and put that in. And then on the others we'll measure. I'll show you how to measure. But I just happen to have this one ready to go. Putting a little extra glue because of the tape. Let's make sure we get it right side up. I cut this so that the words journal record were centered. Then I printed that map page, the one I told you that I wanted to use for sure. This one's going to be up higher. I'm going to make it level with this. Now we can glue our pocket shut. Just looked a little crooked. I got the itchies this morning. This is the next morning from when I did this. I did put the same shirt back on so it would be even all the way through. So we're just going to do both sides. This is already done because it's a flap. And then we want to leave the top open for it to be the pocket. So we're just going to close that up. And then we're going to put our map in here. We're going to have to fold it up kind of skinny. Okay, here's our piece for here. And we'll put something on that. I just don't have the ephemera cut out yet. And in the interest of time, I may put the little pieces here and there on and then come back and show you at the very end of the video too. Had a little trouble speaking there. I don't think I've had enough coffee and pop. Not mixed together. Not at the same time. Okay, we want to make sure we've got this right side up. We're going to center it. And if it doesn't line up on both sides, then center it between both sides. Okay? And it's going to stick fairly quick, so okay. So we've got that much done. And then we'll do this one, and this one in the next video. Try to get in at least one writing card. And then I'll make the other one off camera. Okay? Alright, so I may go ahead and glue the papers down. And then we'll just put the elements on, whatever they're going to be. Because you just watched me glue 3 pieces of paper. So, I don't think you need to watch me glue all the others. So, this is the end of video 1 for real. And I will see you in the next video. And that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.